All right. I'd like to start by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is called The Final Stretch. Now, any of you brothers that ever ran track, or ever had anything to do with running, you know that the hardest part is the finish, getting to the finish line. That's when things get tough. That's when cramps start to settle in. That's when you're tired as hell. You just want to get something to drink, something to eat. You just want to sit down somewhere. And that's one of the hardest things in running. Outside of the training is to get to that finish line. And when you see the finish line, what's that? That's the final stretch. And you're at the final stretch. What you're basically doing is you're sprinting, to hurry up and finish, to get to that line, to that finish line. So like, and you give it all that you have within your power, within whatever you have left inside of you to make it to that finish line. So that final stretch is one of the hardest runs that you'll do, when you're in track and field. Well, right now, in the truth, we're at that final stretch, pretty much, where things are going to start really, start crunching down, Things are going to really start, getting tighter and tighter, as far as Esau's, persecution, which we see happening in front of us. We've seen happening, and we've been warning brothers that this is coming, Now, you brothers have seen, been the last few days, week or so, or however long it's been going on, you've been seeing how, in the news, they're trying to paint this thing of, the black Hebrew Israelites committing terrorist acts or committing this act or, murdering this person or using anti-Semitic rhetoric, causing violence against people, which we all know is bullshit. And even people out there that are familiar with the Hebrew Israelite thing, they even said, nah, they're not violent like that. And I was surprised that even Sarnetta did a little stint, on his live show, and he even mentioned that I know the Hebrew Israelites, that's not how they get down. They're not violent like that or something along those lines. And I was surprised that even he even had enough character to say that. Earlier, just now, I was watching El Dayatun's video. I got about 10 minutes in, and this title, The Final Stretch, came a little earlier. I was thinking about trying to put something together on it, but this is the best time for it, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And he's going into how, here it is now, you got all involved, you are teaching the word, you got involved with it, you understood you're an Israelite, you woke up, and now that these things are happening, what are you going to do? You going to turn back, or are you going to move forward, Because there's going to come a time for the proving grounds. And the proving grounds is going to separate the men from the boys, so to speak, And, we all pray to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai that we can make it through, because it is going to get rough, And, the prophets were pretty much, they were great men, but they were common men. They had like passions, as we have. There were times when situations would happen, and they would get nervous, or they would run, or they would hide. Why? Because, at the end of the day, they're men, and at the end of the day, it's through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai that we make it through, that we actually, persevere, The crown is there, and the crown will be given to us by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and also Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will give us the minerals, to make it through. It's not going to be because any man, any one man or two men or 10 men or 100 men or whatever the case is have so much integrity, so much inner fortitude that they'll be able to withstand these things, because the Lord is going to give that internal fortitude. When the prophets prophesied and did what they did, why were they able to do it? Because the Lord put the Spirit upon them to be fearless. Judas Iscariot, Salaki, not Judas Iscariot, that was a slip of the tongue. Judas Maccabees, when he went to war, his men would look on the battlefield and would see so many of the heathens, they would be nervous, and the Spirit will come upon Judas, I keep saying Judas Iscariot, upon Judas Maccabees to encourage them and tell them, look, there's more on our side that's with them. The battle is the Lord's. He said it's easy. It doesn't matter for the Lord to give the victory to a few men or many. And the Lord shows his power by giving the victory to the least. So we're walking down that same path. And we have to keep these things in mind. So I was also I had another thought in mind, but it kind of left for now. But I was also watching Priest Daniela's live show concerning this whole situation about the Jersey shooting, and I said, let me watch a few minutes. I probably was going to watch maybe 10, 15 minutes, because it was almost an hour and a half. So I'm just going to watch maybe like 10, 15 minutes to see what the brother's saying. And the brother was getting down, and I ended up watching the whole thing not from beginning. I think I went to around the 10-minute mark or so, and from there I watched the whole thing, and he was getting down, and he was putting a lot of things together, a lot of points that made sense, because they're trying to blame this whole thing on the Israelites because they need some type of propaganda out there to justify when they roll on us through their legislation, as it says in 2 Ezra 15 and 16, that they will do, And pretty much what he was going into was that incident that they said that happened allegedly could have happened because there's a lot of tension out there in Jersey between Jake, so-called Negroes, tribe of Judah, and Amalek. And the tension is that Amalek is trying to gentrify Jake out of that region in Jersey, because the houses where they live at are worth millions of dollars. So Amalek is pestering them and harassing them like they're harassing those Palestinians to move up so that they can come in and buy everything cheap. So a house that's worth $1 million, they'll pester Jake and oppress to the point where they'll sell for 90,000, which is nothing. Which is just like he said, it's a tenth of what the property and the house is worth. But they're trying to get in there to buy shit cheap, because that's how them bastards are. They come in there and they take over shit, and then they act like they're so benevolent. But they're not but the God devil that the Bible speaks of. And that's where all of this tension is coming at from there. So what better opportunity than to turn it on the Israelites, because it's Amalek having problems with Judah, the so-called Negroes. So they're spinning that, because this shit happened where? In Jersey. So like Priest Daniela said, how do we know that that incident allegedly that happened, what didn't stem from an encounter that he may have had with one of them gutter rats? So there's a lot of shit that's going on that's not adding up. Then I'm not sure if it was the mayor of Jersey came out and says that they can't give any information on the victims and the actors, which he's calling the shooters and actors. And then a year ago in 2018, they were having a mock drill. I'm not sure if it was in Jersey, but it was inside this one building, where the police and the SWAT or whatever it was, they were going through and they showed actors on the ground as if they were dead with fake blood on them and all of that. So there's a lot of shit that's going on that's not really adding up to the public eye or people that have their eyes open. But we, that understand the scriptures through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakakodash, we understand that these things have to happen because there has to be a persecution. The scriptures say that the saints, through much tribulation, thou shalt enter into the kingdom of heaven. So if that's the case, that means there's going to be a lot of hell going on for us to be able to get to the kingdom. And the scriptures compare the getting of the kingdom to a woman that's pregnant in her 9th month. You know, she's pregnant, she's having all kind of contractions and pains, and she wants to have that baby so that she can get rid of those pains. So we're at the point now where we're about to be delivered, just like a woman is delivered from that baby. And once she's delivered from that baby, that's when the pains go away. And she forgets about the pains because she got that baby. So we forget about the pain once we get the kingdom. The kingdom is the baby, that penny that's promised to us, you know, by Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. You know, so, you know, the brother was getting down. He was doing his thing. Elder Ayathan was getting down. I only watched like 10 minutes. Like I said, I got to go back and finish watching it. And like I said, I was surprised that Sarnetta had enough integrity to say that, nah, the Hebrew Israelites are not violent. You know, they don't promote violence. They're not violent. They don't commit any violent acts or something along those lines. So I was just like, damn. And then there's a lot of people on these social medias that are defending the Hebrew Israelites. They may not agree with what's being taught, but they're defending, some of them are defending the Hebrew Israelites because they know that that's all bullshit. Here it is, we've been out there going all the way back to Abba Bivens, you know, Elder Abba Bivens, you know, King Shah, High Priest Ariah, High Priest Shaikwab, the other 7 at the time. For what? Going back, let's see, has to be from, let's say, 69, 70, even though Elder Abba was there before that, let's just say around 69, that's what? That's 31, 41, 50 years, 51 years or something like that. Just based off of this, what we're dealing with right now. And they, not once did they find anything from any group from what they call One West committing any heinous acts like that. Nothing. You know, no so-called terrorist bullshit. No, none of that crazy shit. You know, why? Because that's not what this group's about. We're about teaching the truth. And if the truth doesn't offend somebody, what are they going to do? They're going to try to kill you, or they're going to try to defame you. You know, that's what they do. They'll try to kill us or defame us so that they can look good. Yeah, how wish I told those wicked Pharisees in them, you seek the king because my words have no place in you. And that's what they're doing, what they're doing. You know, it's not out of, well, you know, we're just concerned because we don't want any strife or we don't want any violence to happen to the people because we want to protect this person or that person. No, you can't control the truth. So the only way you can control the truth is by slandering, bearing false witness, you know, trying to defame the very men out there that are risking their lives and their freedoms, as Elder Malcolm says, to teach this word, you know, and to bring the truth of what's really going on, you know. But what do? They slander, false witness, because they ain't building their case. They already built it. The case is already built. All they're doing now is trying to put the finishing touches on it. Because with the case, you have to have evidence. So their evidence is false evidence, and this is why they're causing, when any little bullshit breaks out with a so-called Negro or Latino or something like that, what they're doing is they're bringing a negative light to the Hebrew Israelites. And then they put that label black, you know, as a stigma. Because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to destroy this truth. But as Peter said, the Apostle Peter said, if this counsel of this, Gamaliel said, if this counsel of this work be of men, it will come to naught. You know? So this counsel and this work is not of men, and it's not going to come to naught. It said, but if it be of the Most High, you cannot overthrow it. Least happily you be found to fight even against the Most High. So they're fighting against the power and of heaven and earth and the universe and everything. So you're fighting a losing battle. You know, you're fighting a losing battle. There's nothing that you could do to stop the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Even if you killed all of us, the Lord will raise up stones out of the ground to serve him and teach his word. So how about that? There's nothing you could do. And this is a move of desperation. You know, when you're losing a battle, when you're losing a debate, so to speak, the last resort is what? To slander, false witness. Because they're trying everything that they can to discredit the Hebrew Israelites so that they can get the people to stop following. But Yahushua said, if I be lifted up, I will bring all men to me. I will draw all men to me. So Yahushua is being lifted up, and his people are being drawn to him. His sheep are being drawn to him. You know, now you may have those that are Israelites that are not a part of the sheep that'll come to it. They'll slander and talk shit and scorn and scoff. But that's all a part of it too. You know, the party, remember the wedding was furnished with what? Good guests and bad guests. So you got to have both. You know, you got to have both. You know, so this is the point that we're at right now. We're at the final stretch, and this is what's going to separate the men from the boys. You know, and we're hoping through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that he give us the minerals to finish. Because that last stretch is the hardest. You know, that's the part you want to give up. You know, you get them aches in your leg, cramps in your leg, cramps in your side. You're like, man, I just got to stop for a little bit. You know, and then you might have another brother, you know, that's running the race. You say, nah, brother, come on, let's go, man. We're almost there. You know, and then you be like, oh, yeah, then that brother might get a little tired. Nah, come on, brother, we're almost there. Let's go. You know? So we're at that point now, at that final stretch, before we cross the finish line. And it's not going to get easier. It's going to get harder. The slanders are going to come more frequent. There's going to be a lot of shit that they're going to do and say, you know. But at the end of the day, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai got our back. So we're going to be good because the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to protect us. We're going to be fine. Your Lord said that my servant shall eat. You know, my servant shall drink. Now, I made a statement in the live show yesterday because I saw brothers put up a disclaimer. I wasn't mad that brothers put the disclaimer up. You know, they did it out of the sincerity of their heart. You know, so if the brother put it up, they're not going off. You know, but the point is that no matter what we do, what we say, no matter how so-called politically correct we're trying to be, Esau's coming. You got to remember, this is a man of no morals. This is the devil that we're talking about. He has no morals. He has no scruples. He doesn't honor his word. You could do everything that he says, and he'll turn back around and kick you right in the ass or bite your ass. You know? Because that's the type of devil we're dealing with. You got to realize you're not dealing with a man. You're dealing with the goddamn devil. That's how they get down. They'll smile in your face, but then they'll stab you right in your motherfucking heart. You know? So they don't play fair. You know, so all we have to do is we just have to keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward. As we see the finish line, we keep pushing forward and keep pushing forward and keep pushing forward. Just like the Spartans, they had the shield, and then they will interlock the shield, put their foot back, and then they say, come on, push forward. And then they'll push forward to push the enemy back. And we're pushing forward to push the enemy back with the shield of truth. And they don't like that. Because Esau is carnal.